we actually have the last eight standing. Like these last eight teams, nobody got here by luck. Nobody. And honestly, in what world do we honestly even get the last four game? That is, two teams that played the last semi-final back again in the last eight of another World Cup, like back to back. What world do we honestly get that? And to now make it better, it is actually an African team. Morocco is the first African team to reach back to back World Cup quarterfinals. And they honestly have the chance to reach back to back World Cup semi-finals. To tell you how good Morocco is actually is. And this game is a proof that Morocco is actually one of the best teams in the world. Morocco is actually top 10 teams in the world. In fact, I'll put them as top 8 teams in the world. And this World Cup is actually a proof that they are top 8 teams in the world. They scored 10 goals so far. That's the most for any African team at a World Cup. And this game is not just simply France attack versus Morocco defense. It's not simply just attack versus defense. No. Because Morocco now press higher, they enjoy possession football, and they strings passes very well. Like Morocco is actually very, very creative now. They did not get here by playing just pure defensive football. That's how Morocco got here, by playing Brazil, Netherlands, Canada. So they didn't just get here by luck. Why France remains the best team currently in world football. There is no team better than France. Forget FIFA ranking. There is no team better than France. Especially the front four. There is nobody, not even club side, after attack. I'm not even talking about the bench, just that attack. There's nobody that have that attack. So the question here is, who controls the midfield? Will Morocco be able to survive France transition football? And the last question is, can France break down Morocco defensive structure before frustration sets in? Because this is a knockout game. If you don't break the defensive structure by 70, 80 minutes, you start getting frustrated. You start being impatient. You start rushing attacks. So before then, will France be able to break down the defensive structure? Quickly, let's talk about a few tactical battles that is going to decide this game. The first thing is Mbappe versus the right side of Morocco's defense. Yeah, I'm talking about Boadi, I'm talking about Hakimi, I'm talking about Issa Diop, and I'm talking about Brahim Diaz. Especially Hakimi. You know, these are two friends, best of friends in football, going against each other. Hakimi versus Mbappe. But for 90 minutes here, or 120 minutes, they are going to be enemies. There is no friends here. Because France want to win, Morocco want to win. So there's no friends here. But this battle is going to determine who wins this game. Especially with Sabari out, Hakimi becomes more important when it comes to attack. And at the same time, he becomes more vulnerable to Mbappe when he leaves the space behind. So it is going to be important to see how Morocco manage this. Because when Hakimi attack, there is a space left behind. Obviously, he cannot be at two places at the same time. But one of the fastest players that can cover two places at the same time is also Hakimi. So it's going to be important to see how Mbappe exploits this space. So if Mbappe is able to exploit this left side space, because Mbappe loves drifting to the left side, so it's going to be important to see how Morocco manage this. The second tactical battle is Olise between the lines. Olise is France's main creative hub, like he's the main creative player. Tchouameni or Manukun, Rabiot, they win the ball, give to Olise, and let the front three decide. He decide who to give between the front three. He create a space, and they exploit that space. But who is exploiting those space? Who is giving those balls to exploit those runs? Is Olise. It is very important to see how Morocco stop Olise between the lines. And even if they stop Olise between the lines, they still check you on the bench. Let's not forget that. So, but for 90 minutes first, or for the first 70 minutes, if Morocco want to be in this game, then they must contain Olise between the lines. And who is going to do that? It is El Ayonsi and Boadi. Boadi has been one of the most standard players of this tournament, honestly. A fantastic six on the ball, out of possession. He's been fantastic. Let me just put it that way. He's been having a good campaign so far. And I'm very, very certain that Lille, we have a tough time keeping this guy because it's just 18. But the maturity at which he plays football is actually beyond 18 years old, honestly. So it is going to be important to see how Morocco stop him here. If Morocco are able to stop him, then they have stopped France halfway. They are almost halfway there. Another tactical battle here is Morocco's press versus France build-up. You know, when you look at France build-up, especially through Saliba and Upamecano, you will know that these are two standout center backs. Both are a bit of cheats. Let me put it that way. So it will be very important to see Morocco's press here, because if you stop the before they get into a full flow transition mode, then you really have a chance of beating them, especially if you are winning the ball deep in first half. It is very important to see how Morocco press here. They win the ball quickly, then they honestly have a chance of winning here. The fourth one is France rest defense versus Morocco's counter attack. I think this is where we decide the game. If Morocco is actually going to score here, this is how they will score. If you remember Canada's game, that was how Morocco turned the game around. Canada was actually pressing Morocco's aggressively. They were creating chance for like the first 45 minutes. Canada was actually the best team. But then Morocco break through. And how did they do it? Counter attack. Morocco has one of the fastest counter attacking team in this competition. And they know how to take their chances very well. If you remember against Brazil, that was how they scored too. They know how to take their chances very well. They will honestly miss Sabari a lot. They are going to miss Sabari a lot. It is very important to see how France stop this, especially their rest defense. Saliba, Upamecano, and whoever joins the rest defense. It is usually Saliba, Upamecano, and Koundé. So it's going to be important to see how these three are able to stop Morocco counter-attack. And before the counter-attack build up, France midfield must actually stop the transition. But if France midfield cannot stop the transition, then Saliba and Upamecano must be up to the task. And honestly, I'm even scared for Morocco, because when you look at the centre backs of France, these are defenders that are comfortable defending large spaces. What to actually look for today is, can Morocco control the midfield through possession? How high will Hakimi play? Can France stop Unani from dictating play? Like, can they really stop Unai from dictating play today? And finally, will Morocco survive France transition football? No team has been able to survive France transition football in this competition. No team has actually been able to survive it. But Paraguay actually limited them to 0 shot on target in 45 minutes. 0. If Morocco can actually just take from that live book and try to stop France that way, then they honestly have a chance. Because when Paraguay got the ball, they could not even string a lot of passes together to create something meaningful. But Morocco is different. So if Morocco can actually stop France transition football today, then I believe they actually have a chance of winning this game. Different to the Morocco that lost 2-0 to France at the 2022 semi-final. This is different. Like, it's a different team. Morocco is actually quite better than 2022. So this game, if Morocco score France first, it will be very, very difficult for France. I'm telling you. It will be very, very difficult for France. So France will definitely try to avoid conceding first. And Morocco too will definitely try to avoid conceding first. Because if they concede first, then the game becomes quite open. So this game, if I want to give a prediction, I'm going to tell you that chances of France winning is actually 60%. Morocco winning is 40%. It is actually that close. It is actually that very much close. This is a game that you should enjoy. I'm going to definitely enjoy this game. So you should enjoy this game too and look forward to those things I told you about.